and a little less cold in the next few days, but a little more cloud than we'd like. I've got all the details in the full forecast coming up for you soon. A very good evening to you. That bitterly cold Arctic air of last week finally gives way into a new week. A very different feel and theme for us in the next few days. Cloudy skies for many and a slight patchy frost likely to return in the next few nights. The coldest air becomes confined to the near continent in the next few days. For us, temperatures start to recover. And with high pressure in control, we've got generally fine, quiet, dry conditions for the time being. As for the next few hours, in contrast, we've got some patchy rain and drizzle, a little soggy out there, some steadier rain in places. With the moisture in the air, prime conditions for misty low cloud and patches of fog to develop. Hill fog becoming a little thicker, giving some poor visibility across the higher routes of the Pennines. And nowhere near as cold as recent nights, those temperatures way above freezing and staying frost-free. Just a little chillier in the most remote rural spots into the first stages of the new day. And into Tuesday morning, it will be a little grey and gloomy. That misty low cloud and hill fog hanging around for much of the day. A slow, steady thaw where we've still got any pre-existing and lying snow, so some standing water likely in the next couple of days, because look at those temperatures, so much milder than it has been. A huge contrast to last week, highs of 10 or 11 degrees through tomorrow afternoon. As for the rest of the week, those temperatures start to slide away again towards the end of the week and the weekend. Near average for the time of year, but a good deal of fine, dry weather with just a light breeze. And by night, it will be chilly enough for temperatures to dip near a freezing point. So the next few nights will be a little colder with just a slight and patchy frost in places. And after the big freeze of last week, a very different theme and feel for us in the next few days. I've got the full forecast coming up for you shortly. Hello to you again. A very good evening. That bitterly cold Arctic air of last week gives way in the next few days. A very different theme and feel out there for all of us. Cloudy skies for the vast majority and a slight patchy frost likely to return in the next few nights. This is the earlier satellite and radar picture. An awful lot of cloud cover for our neck of the woods today. It's been a grey, gloomy start to the weekend, but mostly dry and calm. And we'll see some patchy, drizzly rain moving through in the next few hours with the moisture in the air, prime conditions for some misty low cloud to thicken up, as well as some patchy fog. The fog most likely across the higher routes of the Pennines, giving some poor visibility. Nowhere near as cold as recent nights, generally frost-free. We stay well above freezing point. Any pre-existing lying snow will gradually start to thaw and give way. And in the coldest spots, in rural locations, lows of just 3 or 4 degrees. So the slightest ground frost here, but a very different theme to recent nights. And into the new day, a good deal of misty low cloud again, keeping it disappointingly grey and gloomy. For some, that thick cloud hanging around all day, a little foggy across the higher routes again, slithers of sunshine, few and far between. And look at those temperatures. Double figures return to our map, a very different feel compared to last week. Highs of 10 or 11 degrees, feeling so much milder. A similar theme in the next few days, mostly fine and dry with some low, weak winter sunshine now and again for the luckier ones. Just a light breeze. The temperatures drop off again towards the end of the week. These temperatures nearer average for the time of year, but by night closer to freezing. So a patchy frost likely in many locations. See you soon. A very good evening to you. After that bitterly cold Arctic air of last week, a very different theme and feel for us in the next few days. Cloudy skies for the vast majority and a slight patchy frost likely to return in the next few nights. This is the earlier satellite and radar picture. We've seen an awful lot of cloud through our neck of the woods. Very grey, gloomy conditions to start the new week, with some patchy rain and drizzle here and there, not amounting to too much. And with the moisture in the air from this wet weather, prime conditions for misty low cloud and fog patches to develop overnight, mostly hill fog, giving some poor visibility across the Pennines, particularly across the highest routes. Elsewhere, well, we've got a good deal of cloud capping the temperatures, nowhere near as cold as recent nights, generally speaking frost-free, but it will turn just a little chilly in rural spots, around 3 or 4 degrees in the most prone locations. And a slow, steady thaw where we've still got the pre-existing and lying snow. As for tomorrow, we've got an awful lot of misty low cloud again, keeping it quite grey and gloomy. The fog across the highest ground slow to shift, if at all. Any slithers of low, weak winter sunshine, few and far between, and barely a breeze. Look at those temperatures, a huge contrast to just a couple of days ago. Double figures return to our maps, highs of 10 or 11 degrees, a much milder feel for all of us after a bit of a chilly start in places. As for the next few days, well, those temperatures drop off a few degrees again towards the end of the week. They'll be near around average for the time of year come the weekend. Mostly fine and dry, and some slithers of weak winter sunshine, but chilly nights with a slight patchy frost.